Hey guys, I'm speaking vacations, and welcome to another episode of Movie Ideas, Random Movie Ideas. These are two ideas I came up with recently. One, when I'm going to talk about the first one, I just basically got done fleshing out already. First idea is a movie called Laredo. Idea I've had for a while, and I eventually developed this into a little bit better idea than I had originally. Originally, I had an idea for Laredo was be a TV series, kind of like Leverage, where these group of robbers are basically robbing money, stealing money to help people out and stuff like that, and hilarity ensues. Now, the idea of it now came up with now is a feature film called Laredo, and it's still about brothers, the Laredo brothers, and takes place in a certain day, and the whole idea is that there's this whole group of brothers. There's a father, Frank Laredo. There's one of the brothers. They're all different ages. I can't think of all the ages right now. Frank Laredo's the father. You got Todd Laredo, Kevin Laredo, Sean Laredo, and Kevin Laredo. Yeah, that's the father. Kevin Laredo. And then you have Carl Laredo. Carl Laredo's the dad. Todd Laredo, Kevin Laredo, Sean Laredo, and then this is a group of four brothers. And there's Carl Laredo, Todd Laredo. Todd Laredo's the youngest. So you have Carl Laredo, Todd Laredo, Sean Laredo, Kevin Laredo, and there's one of the brothers is actually, there's also one of them is also, there's five brothers. Actually, there's a total of six brothers. One of them is definitely ill. He has I think maybe bone marrow disease or something that he has to have a transplant. This family doesn't have the money to support him. So there's an issue there. They don't have any money to be able to pay for the transplant. So these brothers, Sean, Kevin, Todd, Sean, Kevin, Todd, what's the other guy's name? Terry, and David. Okay, I'll do David. This is all speculative here. Five brothers. The first and last one, the one that's sick, is Jay. And so these brothers, one of them actually he got discharged from the military recently for whatever reason. So he got discharged from the military for being too rowdy, getting into fights and getting drunk all the time. And when he gets back from discharge, he realizes his brother is in desperate need of help. And so these brothers come together and they think of this idea, which is crazy. But they're like, and this is a fantasy type action film. This is nothing that's really realistic, and that's not the point here. Basically, these guys, they realize, how come these asshole crime bosses are making all this fucking money, and all they use on it is themselves and to help fund their drug money and their drug empire. They don't deserve that money. Here, our brother is dying, and we don't have the money to help him out. And then one of the guys, the former military guy's like, actually, I'll have one of the military guys. He's a high respected officer. Just got back from the war. Has a lot of clearance. He's the oldest brother. And he decides to basically put his whole job on the line and throw it all away to save his brother. So lets his other brothers get access to weapons and all this kind of stuff. They get like grenades and stuff like that. So they have this idea of just an all-out assault on the mob boss's fortress, his whole organization. Carl Laredo, the dad, he's a cop, and so he has some extra knowledge of where his hideout, where the crime boss's hideout is. Maganelli, I'm going to call him. Crime Maganelli's hideout is, and so it gives him information. And he just basically he he knows that there's really not much else they can do. All their other relatives are dead. They don't have any other way of getting any income to save his son, and he doesn't want to lose him. Actually Jake is the youngest. Todd is the second youngest. Doesn't want to lose his youngest son. I mean, he hasn't even been to high school yet. So basically, they end up going all out fucking, assault on the crime on Magnelli's fortress, his house, his big skyscraper type thing. And they figure out where the safe is, and this whole idea. And there's this whole thing where they show up at the warehouse, and they get outmatched and outnumbered, and 2 of the guys die. And then, the guys come and save the day with a Humvee with a 50 cal on the back of it, start fucking people up right and left. And then they end up going to the mob boss's hideout, and they go in and they figure out a way. He goes in, and one-on-one, that one of the main guys is Sean Laredo, and this guy goes in and just goes gunning people down with guns and stuff. These guys they've all used guns before. These guys, their past is not very good. They've been in and out of prison. And they realize, we aren't the best seeds. We're not the best of guys, but, we might as well help our brother, while we can. I mean, we're probably in jail anyway, so, why not go out with a purpose, So, I think it's a good idea, ex-cons, a family of ex-cons, and a couple of the kids, Todd and Jake, they're good seeds. They're having a good time. They're building good relationships, and they don't want, they realize, our brother's dying, and we got to do our best to, get him back, if in the best chances to live, a good life, unlike we have. And so it's an all out, balls out action sequences. It's got to be rated R. You have stuff with a 50 cal, like, come and get him, motherfuckers. Jake will have a ski mask on and shit, and just fucking up people with a 50 cal. The mobsters are trying to follow him. I have an idea. I don't know how plausible this is, but I don't care because I think it's awesome. They find a way to open the safe with all the money in it. They set all these charges around underneath the safe on successive floors. Down in the basement, they have a guy in a getaway car waiting, and they both get in the safe before the mob guys get there to try to fuck them up, and they just hit the detonate button, and the safe just falls through floor while they're in it. And I think the safe is strong enough that they got straps that they're holding on, they're getting banged around and stuff. They land, and they're all dazed and stuff, but they still got the safe through 5 stories or something, just guys running out of the way. Safe it goes down through this last floor into the basement, into the parking garage. The guy just drives around, gets in there, they get in the getaway car, start shooting people up with the 50 cal, and the mobsters are like, "Oh fuck this shit! Oh god no!" And then the mob boss is like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get in the fucking car! Let's get those motherfuckers! They got my fucking money!" Ran and drive around, get the chase scene. He started shooting. The mob boss is shooting him. He shoots the guy with the 50 cal in his leg. He's bleeding, but he still manages to fuck people up. You have the whole thing where the mob boss is following him all over the place. The cops are behind him, and the mob boss takes out a rocket launcher on the parking garage to shoot it, and the guy with the 50 cal shoots the muscle before it hits him, and then it blows up, and they get blown backwards and shit. It's an interesting idea I got here. And so they all followed up some more, drive around, shooting. They end up fucking up basically what the mob boss does. He drives around, the guys are shooting the 50 cals at the cop cars. They're blowing up. The mob boss is getting around in his car, his fast speed car. He shoots a pistol. He shoots a gun. Right. He shoots the driver in the shout and around in this area. Not gonna kill him, but he'll die of loss of blood. So he's driving around. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And then Sean's like, "Fuck this!" Takes out a grenade and says, "Catch this! Fetch this, asshole!" Throws a grenade and then throws it into the car. With the mob boss, it's like, blows up the car and flops upside down. Cop cars crash into the fucking mob boss's car. They drive away, they get away. But The whole thing is, it looks like they're gonna get away. There's only 3 of the brothers left because the other guys died. The guys died in the warehouse. 2 of the guys died in the warehouse. 2 of the brothers died in the warehouse. There's 5 brothers, and 2 of them died in the warehouse. So there's 3 brothers. The youngest brother, Todd. You have Sean. You have the military guy who basically he's driving, and he basically, what happens is, here comes a police helicopter, and I was like, we're not gonna hesitate to shoot, stop, and you have this emotional sequence. You have a whole thing where, you could have Sean's like, fuck this. It's like, no, man, don't you fucking do this, man. Fuck, there's no other way we gotta do it, man. Fuck this. And then he takes off his ski mask, pulls up the 50 cal. They're like, we will not hesitate to shoot you. And he's like, come and get it, motherfuckers. 50 cal at the helicopter, and they're shooting his ass at the same time. Helicopter gets it. The guys get fucked up. The helicopter crashes, but, basically, Sean gives up his life to fucking save the day, help them get away of the money. The younger brother, Todd, he's the last remaining survivor of these brothers, because Sean, he ends up just dying of loss of blood. Gives him the bag of money, so he goes to the hospital, and they get the money paid for it, for the help for the procedure to save Todd, to save Jake. And so, just in the nick of time too, because I had an idea of editing things in between, like the sequence in the mob boss's fortress when the guys are going to shoot him up, shoot him out, trying to get to the safe. Idea of intercutting sequences of the sick and of Jake, laying there sick in his bed, and his dad holding his hands and stuff. And I have this idea where they have this thing where they do this fist bump thing, brothers forever, and they do that, and Todd does that one last time with Sean. Todd does that one last time with Sean. Fuck. I'm just to say Kevin. Shit about, I don't care. It's Kevin, David. It's just Sean with David, and they build this. And his older brother, his other brother dies, and just right there, passes out, loss of blood, dead. And he gets to the hospital, and then he saves his brother, and you have an emotional sequence at the end. The movie would end with a funeral. And I have a happy ending here because I don't think Todd needs to be prosecuted and arrested by cops. They weren't able to figure anything out. I don't want to deal with that. So he goes in and he has enough money. They pays the money to help him out. And you have at the funeral, you have Jake there, and he's crying, knees down, and he kneels down at the graves of his brothers and says, "You didn't have to do that, man. I would have gladly died in your places, man. But one for all for one and one for all, right? Brothers forever." Does this thing, head in her hands, hits the gravestone, and then I just have that. That's the idea. That's the idea of the movie. The basic idea for Laredo is that it's a film that I think would be a good movie. It emotionally invested in it. And it's like, yeah, you're going to learn to like these guys. But the whole thing is that these guys, they're going down the wrong path anyway. A couple of them are already violating parole. They're already going to end up in jail. They want to give their brother the best life they possibly can. And he's not doing too well. And his dad, their dad doesn't have the money to pay for the procedure to save their brother. So they end up saying, fuck it, all for one for all, one for all for one. Kind of like Four Musketeers type of shit, but Five Musketeers or something, But it's like violent, gory, shoot 'em up, action, and with emotional, depth behind it and weight. And I think it would be a good movie. I really would think it would be a good movie. I think it could hold that emotional impact, hold that. I don't have any ideas for casting. I really don't have any ideas for any of that right now. I just came up with this idea today. So I don't have any ideas for casting for any of these ideas. If you have any ideas for casting or directors, fine. I'm just going to throw these ideas out there. I just wanted to record them so I don't forget them and share them with you guys. Because I really don't know about actors and directors right now for these ideas I'm going to talk about. And Laredo, This is a movie that would be awesome, I think, if it was done right. You know, the whole idea with the plot that's sort of plausible. And you root for these guys because these mob bosses don't deserve all that cash. Give me a fucking break. All these are for smoking, for whores and drugs. So, you know, for these guys to come and steal it from them and get comeuppance and fuck up the mob boss in the end, and, you know, and have these brothers, you know. And I had an idea maybe to end the actual movie on a flashback to when the brothers were all playing, you know, squirt guns with each other at the summer, you know, in the summer, you know, like, you know, doing this kind of stuff with squirt guns or dart guns or something. I thought that would be kind of cool. And that's the whole idea of the film Laredo. It's just brothers teaming up, gearing up, ripping off a mob boss to get the money to basically save their younger brother from dying. And, you know, and just, that's basically it. It's like going down a blaze of glory like in Guns 2, but I think it would be more, you'd have more emotional depth behind it, and you would understand that these guys aren't going to all make it. It's sort of like an epic, it's sort of like a war. You know, they're against these guys, they're outmatched, they're outnumbered by all of these obstacles. You know, and then for them to manage to even possibly get to the money in the first place is amazing. And for them to get it to save their brothers even more, is the icing on the cake. So they were willing to sacrifice themselves to save the life of their own kin. So basically, that's the whole idea for it, Laredo. So another idea I had after I watched Matt's rant on Rise of Planet of the Apes, I thought Rise of Planet of the Apes was going to be like, you know, a prequel, like Conquest of Planet of the Apes, where apes are, you know, fucking up humans and taking over. That's not the case. So I came up with an idea that's completely separate from the Planet of the Apes franchise called Simian. The idea with Simian is you have the same sort of plot, but done a hell of a lot better, folks, okay? You have, okay, I don't know who's going to be casted or directing. Throw ideas out there, but I don't know right now. I'm just telling you an idea. The whole idea is this. In the future, not near future, way down the line, 2030 something or whatever, there is a new strain of AIDS that has developed. And it's wiping out like half the population. And it's sort of like, you know, the disease that's in Johnny Mnemonic. But the idea is that these since the scientists realize AIDS might have been created by monkeys, they do this thing with monkeys and they figure out, one of these guys figures out that there might be a cure for this new strain of AIDS, but in order to get the cure, they have to physically, genetically enhance apes. Have to make them more intelligent and things like that. They basically have to do is genetically re-engineer apes. And one of the side effects is they have this really, really crazy ability to learn really, really fast. So they start learning really, really quickly. They start learning how to do things and this and that. And they get smart enough to the point where they just take over the facility. The whole movie is just a bunch of different apes fucking, you know, there's the whole apes taking over the facility. They learn how to speak. They learn how to move. They learn how to think. They learn how to strategize. And they learn how to use guns and shit. And they start fucking people up. So, one of these apes, you know, that's really intelligent now, and these apes are getting more intelligent. One of them decides there's a girl, just a woman out there, and the main character, it's a guy, I think it's his wife. One of these apes decides, I'm going to take this chick. I'm going to make her mine. So, the ape takes her, like, comes out of nowhere, and just grabs her, and just jumps onto trees and onto skyscrapers, and the guy's like, fuck, give me that little shit. And I'd have the whole thing set up where this guy's having a horrible day in the first place, and, you know, maybe he could be a cab driver or some shit, and he's having an awful day, and then his wife gets kidnapped by fucking super apes, and then he decides, I'm gonna fuck this shit. And so he and a bunch of other remaining survivors, they decide to, like, let's fucking take it to these fucking apes. They want a war, we'll give them a fucking war. You know, they get all fucking loaded with guns and shit, grenade launchers, fucking flamethrowers, flames to burning apes and shit. You can't tell me this wouldn't be fucking awesome. Like, imagine the apes, kind of in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I like to do practical if I could, or a mix of practical and CGI. Apes going around, and they're just bloody, gory mess, just fucking up apes, blowing their brains out and shit. Going out, and the apes think they're this and that. Raccoon guy gets in the tank, starts fucking up the apes, in the city. And I think about New York in the future, so fucking up apes with tanks. Just fucking epic, that's what it would be. And then you have, he gets to his wife, and these apes are about to fuck her, about to rape her, and I'm just not going to show apes physically raping a woman, but just show they're about to do it. Then he shows up out of nowhere, and he says, he used a line from Planet of the Apes, and do it right here. Not like Planet of the Apes, where he's all like, get your fucking hands off her, you damn dirty apes. So you have that idea. Another idea I had, I might put it in here, I might not. I might keep the guy just normal, or he might go to extremes to save his wife. He might inject this experimental serum that makes him, have the abilities of the apes, and just goes fucking them up, just fisticuff, fucking up apes. That'd be cool. Like if the guy had powers like the Beast, like in X-Men, First Class, before he went all blue and fuzzy, you just fucking apes up, just taking out guns and just. I think it'd be awesome. This movie could be awesome. Have a finale of the Statue of Liberty where he just like wires it to explode, jumps off, Die Hard like with his wife. Boom! Liberty blows up. Apes are going frying and blowing up everywhere. It'd be awesome. That's the gist of the movie. I know you're like, wow, fuck. But anyway, I was just getting excited about it because I think it'd be fucking awesome. It'd be cool. You can't tell me fucking, apes in the future. You do Planet of the Apes, do that kind of shit. But like with walking apes that walk and just fucking them up with rifles and shit. Fuck, rated R. Fucking busting apes in the head with butts of shotguns. And, apes are fucking people up, ripping their arms off and shit. And, be like a fucking horror movie. Like, but like instead of, a zombie movie, but instead of zombies, you have intelligent apes. People just fucking them up, like Escape from New York type shit. Escape from New York, it's Planet of the Apes almost. And then just have, the guy is half Simian, and he just goes at ape shit crazy on all these apes in one sequence. They're trying to fuck them up, and he's fucking them up right and left. And, I think it'd be cool. Like, he's getting primal. He gets primal rage. Because they're trying to fuck with his wife, and he goes, just breaking apes' arms and throwing them all over the place and shit, and fucking them up. I just think that'd be cool. That's just me. But anyway, God, I'm getting way too excited about this. But anyway, if you guys had any ideas for directors or who you think might want to star in it, let me know. But anyway, that's the idea for Simian. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Fucking apes fucking up, fucking up humans and fucking guns, and I'm sorry. It would just be awesome. Never happened, but it'd be awesome. That's what I thought Rise of the Planet of the Apes was gonna be, but no. But anyway, I don't know what to say, but I better cut it short here and cut to the chase. And thanks for watching another episode of Random Movie Ideas, and I'll check you later.